Hello everyone! Today I'm going to show you how I made my latest Get Well Soon card. I usually use my hand-drawn sketches and import them into Affinity Designer and start by drawing out the shapes. Depending on what I want to draw, I either use the shape tool or the pen tool. I then use the node tool to fix the curves, and it's really helpful to fill in the shape with whatever color you choose, because that way it's easier to see where you need to fix the curves. To create the inside of this mug, I drew an oval and I masked it inside the shape that I've already drawn. So as far as the table is concerned, I really wasn't satisfied with the color, and it's always helpful to have more of the elements of your drawing and then try to play with the colors to see how they match with each other. The cat was really tricky to draw because his tail is sort of behind the girl's head, so I had to figure out how to cut that part that's not visible. But first I wanted to finish her head. So what I did was copy her hair and put it next to the cat's tail, and then select both of those layers and use the subtract boolean tool and then delete everything that's left. What's really cool about Affinity Designer is that it lets you work both in vector persona and in pixel persona almost at the same time. So I really like switching to pixel persona because there are so many amazing brushes that you can use to create texture. So this is what I'm doing here with the table and basically with every element that I have on this drawing. Frankentoon Studios has a lot of great pixel brushes that you can check out and you can download. I am using their texture brush pack and I really love it. To draw her face, I switched back to vector persona. There are a couple of nice brushes that come with Affinity Designer that you can use as strokes for various different lines that you want to create within your illustration or drawing. And this is what I'm doing here. I realized that I didn't really like the cheeks that I created with the pixel brushes. So I just drew two shapes and used the FX tool to blur those oval shapes. For the thermometer, I used the same technique as I did for the mug. So basically I just drew a shape and then masked it inside my bigger shape. The lines on the thermometer were too thick, so I had to make them a little thinner. For the ice pack, I added a couple of lines to create depth and also a shadow for the same reason. Finding the background color is another really difficult part of any illustration, I think. So I usually play around with colors quite a lot. Once I find the color that I like, I usually give the background a texture as well, so the illustration pops a little bit more. In this case I still wasn't happy with the color, so I used adjustments tool and I just played around with the hue. And then obviously you have to find a color that really matches with the whole illustration for the text. So this is what I'm doing here. I kind of forgot that tea or something should be in the mug, so I quickly rectified this problem. But the whole illustration felt a little empty, like something was missing. So I decided to add a honey jar, and for that I used an actual image of a honey jar and just traced the lines and created my own illustrated version of the same jar. To have this orange shape actually look like honey, I added some darker orangey margins, and then I used the gradient tool to create that honey effect, as you can see here. And then the last thing here was to add some light reflection to the jar. I also used the opacity tool to make it look a little bit more realistic. And as you can see, I also used the subtract tool here as well. To finish the illustration off, I created a honey stick that I placed inside my jar. Leave a comment if you have any questions. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you like my videos, and see you next time.